You're watching Global Reference News with Sifo Umkizi. Let's take a look at the stories that made last week's international headlines. In Venezuela, protesting and rioting erupted following the nation's presidential election. Current head of state Nicolas Maduro made a declaration of victory over the opposition party, led by Edmundo González. According to Maduro, the polls indicated a 51 to 45 voting percentage in his favor. However, González's opposition sources declared that González had won by a 70 to 30 landslide. The U.S. government has also sided with González in the ordeal and recognized him as the legitimate winner of the election. Maduro's administration has since reported that they believe that the U.S. intends to enact a coup. The assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran has the Middle East on edge and could lead to an all-out war. According to sources, a bomb was planted months ago inside the house where Haniyeh and his family resided and was detonated remotely, killing both Haniyeh and his bodyguard. Though Israel has been charged as the culprit, they have neither confirmed nor denied involvement. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has since weighed in on the matter, declaring that Iran would respond to the attack directly. In Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has called for an end to protests following the bloodshed witnessed during 3 days of demonstrations sparked by a worsening cost of living crisis. The protests have resulted in the deaths of at least 7 people and the arrest of over 700 individuals. These events unfolded as Nigerians initiated the first of 10 planned days of rage on Thursday. President Tinubu expressed his sorrow over the fatalities in 4 northern states and the damage to public property. Businesses, which had closed during the initial protests, started reopening in Lagos and parts of Abuja on Friday. However, flights from Lagos to places like Kano have been cancelled indefinitely. In Bangladesh, ongoing protests that have resulted in over 300 deaths reached a single-day climax this weekend. 98 people were killed, and hundreds were injured as police used tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse tens of thousands of demonstrators demanding resignation of its current Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The incident marked one of the deadliest days in Bangladesh's recent history of civil unrest, even surpassing the 67 deaths from the July 19th protests against the government job quota system. Prime Minister Hasina, who has been in power since 2009 and secured a 4th consecutive term in January through elections boycotted by the main opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party, is accused of consolidating power through state institutions and suppressing dissent. The recent violence underscores the growing dissatisfaction and demand for change among the people of Bangladesh. In Europe, wildfires are currently devastating several regions, including Croatia's Dalmatian coast, Italy, Albania, and North Macedonia. The fires have led to evacuations and significant damage as high temperatures persist. In North Korea, Kim Jong Un came to the rescue as torrential floods affected the North Korean-Chinese border. Overseeing a massive humanitarian effort that involved more than 10 military aircraft and naval rescue vessels, state media sources reported that Kim rescued more than 4,200 residents. The reporting did not disclose how many perished. In U.S.-Russian relations, both nations completed their largest prisoner swap since the Soviet era, involving 24 individuals after months of negotiations and cooperation from other European countries who released Russians in their custody as part of the deal. The group of 24 included journalists, political dissidents, suspected spies, a computer hacker, a fraudster, and even a convicted murderer. Russia released 16 people, among them Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan, a corporate security executive from Michigan. Both were facing lengthy prison terms in Russia on espionage charges that the U.S. government deemed baseless. Moscow also freed Alsu Komasheva, a journalist for Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty, and a dual U.S.-Russian citizen, who had been convicted in July of spreading false information about the Russian military charges her family and employer denied. You've been watching Global Reference News International Headlines. For more international news, visit the GRN World portal at www.globalreferencenews.com.